Welcome to a new week. Today, we will do a little restorative rest and some TRE, some trauma release. I'd like to keep the trauma release consistent to every other week to really give you guys the opportunity to change the stress responses in the nervous system. And in order for that to happen, TRE really should happen 2 to 3 times a week. So let's continue with that work. Today, I have 3 blankets. I have a bolster, which you can just use a nice pillow. I also have my bed pillow and another little pillow. So what I'd like you to have is just lots of pillows and blankets. So why don't you grab those and we'll get started. For our first position today, I'd like to do side lying pose. So grab your pillow for your head. I'm going to use my bed pillow for my head. I want you to choose any side that you're comfortable lying on that will support your shoulders and your neck. So have your bolster to the side. And I like to have a bolster for my knee and leg with another blanket or pillow right above, like to hug. And of course, I'm going to have a blanket over my body to stay warm. So let's take a moment to get settled. Once you lie on your side, you want to make sure that the knee and the ankle are supported. So you don't want the ankle hanging off or hanging off the bottom. We really want the joints to be completely held and supported. And ideally, the knee will be about the same height as the hip. If you have it too low, what happens is it starts to pull on the SI joint. So we want the knee to be about hip height. It can be a little lower, but not too much. Have another pillow handy so that this top arm, it's the same thing. If this top arm has to reach toward the floor, what happens is we roll into this bottom shoulder. We put extra weight in the shoulder, and then after time, the bottom shoulder hurts. And we will often wonder why our bottom shoulder hurts when we're a side lying position. It's often because we need more support. And then maybe you want to have an eye pillow or a blanket to get cozy and warm. So let's make any last minute adjustments so that your body can fully drop into the earth. If you're comfortable, close your eyes. Otherwise, just soften your gaze somewhere out on the floor or in front of you. Let's take a deep inhale through the nose and a little bit longer of an exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose and a little longer exhale through the mouth. Please do 2 more. And now just allow the breath to become effortless. Begin to notice the natural rise and fall of your belly. Could you feel the whole body, the weight of the whole body leaning and resting deeply into all of your pillows and blankets? Begin to unclench the jaw. All the little muscles behind the eyes softening. Invite yourself to relax here. If the mind is busy, that's okay. We're not trying to quiet the mind. It's maybe an initial goal, but we're not trying to quiet the mind by stop thinking or lying here and make ourselves relax our brain. Instead, if we just begin to focus on little parts of the body relaxing, start to witness the breath, and basically just give our mind a different line of focus, something more internal, then the thoughts will eventually quiet down naturally. So if your brain is still racing, that's okay. Just notice them and come back to sensing the breath. Sense the sounds within your space. Feel all the little points of contact that the side of your body has to the earth. Could you let go of another layer of gripping or tension around the head and neck? Maybe begin to even visualize the brain within the head softening. And now we'll begin to just let go of gripping, of a little bit more tension. Get a little heavier. Begin to sink into the quietude of this moment. There's nothing that you have to attend to this moment. Allow yourself to just take in this rest. All the times in your life that you desperately just needed a moment to lay down and cover your eyes and shut the world off is here. So please don't miss out on this healing that's already happening. Just a little bit longer. Deep, deep rest that you deserve. Please begin to deepen your breath. You can move your body around a little bit. And let's prepare for our trauma release portion. So please make your way out of your side lying position. If you don't have a lot of padding underneath you like I do, then I would recommend leaving a pillow underneath your head. And you can keep a pillow under your head even if you have a lot of padding, but I'm going to remove mine. And the only thing that you will need besides the pillow under your head for this portion will be possibly a blanket to cover yourself if you feel a little chilly. Otherwise, you can stack all of your blankets and pillows to the side. And we'll come on to our backs. Let's begin with the knees bent, feet a little wider than the hips, and knees fall together. Arms relaxed wherever you'd like them. Take a deep inhale through the nose. No longer exhale through the mouth. Put your right hand onto your heart and your left hand onto your low belly, and just allow the elbows to soften into you. Take a moment to feel your body with your hands. Can you feel yourself breathing? And then see if you can sense your hands with your body. The touch of your hands with your body. Just take a moment to set an intention for the rest of this practice, a heart's desire for yourself today. Maybe something that you want to shake off or release, or maybe something you would like to feel or embody after the class. Something simple. Just quietly whispering your intention. If you don't have an intention and you're scrambling in your brain to choose one, I don't want you to do that. That's like too much work, right? It's okay if you don't have an intention because you're here. And being here is plenty. But if you want to set an intention, and you can't find one, maybe use something really simple like, my body is healthy and I trust the process of its healing path. My body is healthy and I trust its process to a healing path. Please bring your arms back down to your side and feet hip width, knees pointing straight up. As you inhale, gently push the feet into the earth and raise the hips up. And exhale, bring the hips all the way down and let the entire body relax. The knees can even fall together for a moment. Then inhale, press into the feet, let the hips rise. Exhale, gently bring it down. Let the knees fall together and soften. Inhale, hips rise. Exhale, bring it down. Knees together, relax. 2 more. Inhale, raise the hips. Exhale, bring it down. Knees together, soften. Last one. Now please bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees open into a diamond shape. Sometimes this position can be a little wonky on the low back. If that's the case for you, you can always prop a pillow under each thigh, or you can choose to just keep the feet flat and the knees pointed up for now. Okay. But if the soles of the feet together and a diamond shape is comfortable for you, what I'd like you to do is just lift your hips about 2 inches from the floor and pause. If this doesn't feel good for your back, I want you to continue feet flat, inhaling, hips rising, exhaling, hips down. So you'll do that like 5 times, okay? So you're either in a diamond shape with the hips raised, you're holding it, or you're doing hip raises 5 more times. Now begin to soften the spine, the back of the skull bones. We're going to hold this for about 20 more seconds. You might begin to notice some movement in the legs. Keep breathing. And then let's bring the hips down, let the knees open, and just take a deep breath. Those of you who chose to do the other position because of your back, at this point, I want you to come into a diamond shape because we'll start to bring the knees closer in, which should naturally feel better on the back. All right. So we're in a diamond shape. From here, all I want you to do is bring your knees about 3 inches closer together. So from the ground, from toward the ground, we bring the knees only 3 inches closer toward each other. And we're just going to pause. Each little increment that we bring the knees together, we hold for a couple minutes. So we're going to hold this for a couple minutes. But it's important that you rest your legs by straightening them anytime that you need a break. Like the moment your brain says to you, I've had enough, please honor it. When you straighten the legs, you can always just rejoin when you're ready. All right. So we just bringing the knees about 3 inches closer toward each other, and we're just pausing. Starting to notice sensation. TRE is a therapeutic shaking. So if you're feeling a little quivering in the legs or maybe anywhere else in the body, that's what we're targeting here. So I want you to keep reminding yourself of your intention that you set. Feel into the cozy support of the ground, maybe your blanket or pillow, so you feel safe and held while you're processing this work. Continue to just soften around the jaw and the head. Then we'll bring the knees 2 inches closer together. And as we bring the knees closer together, we will start to find a little bit more sensation. So again, can you rest and lean into what you feel? One thing I love about this work of TRE is the involuntary way to do this work, because I've been to classes where you've maybe made yourself shake, you've made it happen. But in this kind of work, you really just trust that the body knows how to do this, and you get to relax into it. And there's like an internal wisdom and wise force within us that's shaking out whatever stories have been lodged in our muscles and our cells, even if we've done a ton of therapy and healing work around these stories. When I say these, it's because we don't always know what our body's releasing. And it's actually great that we don't always know, so we don't re-trigger things. But our body is shaking off old stories. So can you rest and trust in this process? We sometimes forget that our body has all the tools and wisdoms that it needs to heal. But life gets busy, our brains get busy, and it kind of gets like lost somewhere in there. This is a process of refinding that pathway, of allowing the brain to just get out of the way so the body can start to realign itself. The body does forget, but it can remember if we get quiet and if we trust it. So now we go 2 inches closer together. So the feet are almost flat on the floor at this point. The knees are only about maybe 3 inches apart from each other. So if your knees are still further apart than that, you might bring them a little closer in. So the knees are about 3 inches apart. Do you need to move your arms somewhere? Maybe bring them to the sides or overhead a little bit. You don't have to. I just want to make sure that you're not gripping in your arms and fingers. Stay present so that you're still allowing yourself to feel all the sensations that are happening in the body. All right, let's take a little break. So please just straighten out the legs. Take a deep inhale through the nose with a nice long sigh through the mouth. And just quietly feel. Okay, let's do one more round. When you feel ready to join and take as much time as you'd like, please bring the soles of the feet back together. Make a diamond shape in the legs. So this second round, I want you to keep the hips on the floor. And then I'm going to give you some room to explore, just bringing your knees closer and closer together until you begin to find some movement and you find a place that you want to stay in for a few minutes. So you might bring the knees almost together, and that's okay. So just explore, find your sweet spot. If you find that your body isn't quite finding movement yet, then what I'll have you do is keep the diamond shape in the legs, but raise the hips again for about 30 seconds. Okay. Then you can put the hips down and then begin to explore bringing the knees closer and closer together. Sometimes that little hip raise might give you another jump start if you need it. As your body is working through whatever it's working through, can you still feel the ground? Your pillow, your blankets? Can you also still listen? Notice your ears taking in the sounds that are in your space. It's important in our healing trauma work or healing stress work that we stay present, because one of a common thing that happens when we are overwhelmed or have trauma or high stress is that our brains kind of wander off, they disassociate. That's a kind of a buzzword you hear in the therapy world or trauma world, right? Disassociate. And that can become a comfortable place that stays with us even as we do our healing work. We find ourselves just drifting off because it becomes habitual, it becomes our safe place. So, and sometimes that can be hard to track. So as you're here, sometimes it can feel really good and you might get dreamy and drift off a little bit. But what I want you to do instead is really just stay present. And we do that, we stay present by feeling the ground, by listening to the sounds, by feeling your body. So there's all these tools that can keep us present. If you're somebody who drifts off a lot, feeling the body might only last 10 seconds. And then you might have to go into another tactile thing like listening for another 10 seconds. And then feeling your pillow for another 10 seconds and so on. So it's different for everyone. It takes time to learn how it works for you. So let this not only be a time of release, but a time of learning. the tremoring, the shaking, eventually we want this little aftershock effects to ripple up our spine to the brain stem. That little ripple effect to the brainstem. The brainstem is where our reptilian brain is, the oldest part of our brain that holds all of our survival instincts like fight or flight or freeze. When we can get that little ripple effect up into our brain stem, that's when our brain patterns can begin to shift. So we not only meet the shaking, or excuse me, we don't only do the shaking, we meet the shaking with healing intention. So that comes together and sends that ripple effect to the brain. That's what we're doing. We're going to go for a couple more minutes. About another minute or so. In this last minute, you can begin to talk quietly to your body. Thank it for its work. And then also quietly let your body know that you're coming to an end with this process. One of the important things about this work is learning how to self-regulate and building relationship to these shaking processes so that when you turn them off, when you say enough, they listen. Let's now bring the feet hip width flat on the floor where the shaking might continue and it might stop for many of you. Either way is fine, just feet hip width, pause here. All right, let's please straighten out the legs. This is a really important thing to do here. So once the legs are straight, flex the feet, tighten your legs and your butt muscles for a moment. Take a deep breath in. And then when you exhale, let it all relax. That tightening helps to stop the tremors. And then once again, just take a feeling moment. You might notice some interesting sensations beneath the skin after doing that work. Then bend your knees, put your feet on the mat or on the ground, knees together. And slowly let the head rock side to side, like a gentle massage for the back side of the brain. Then let your knees come up toward your chest. The hands can either be on the floor or you might hold the knees if you're more flexible. And we're just gonna make little side to side motions, massaging out the bottom part of the spine, the sacrum, and the tailbone. Now I'd like you to prepare for a short non-sleep deep rest practice. So grab a pillow or your bolster for underneath your knees, your head pillow, and you're going to do a simple lying on your back position. If you don't have a high bolster, I often like to have a second pillow or blanket rolled up underneath the heels. So the heels are actually kind of floating in space and there's not any pressure on the bottom of the heels. Then you might cover yourself up. And I do recommend covering your eyes if that's something that feels safe and comfortable for you, is to cover your eyes just to block out the light. So take another minute or so just to really get cozy. And if lying on your back isn't comfortable, you can take any position you'd like. You're welcome to even just take your phone or computer with you to a couch or a bed. Take about another minute and just find the most optimal, comfortable position that you can be in for about 10 to 15 minutes. And I do like to turn my camera off for this portion. So another couple moments to get a little bit more cozy. Get the last minute little fidgets out of the way. All right. So feeling gratitude for your work so far. For the body's wisdom to release. And also for the body's wisdom to store and to hold. But now the practice that you just did can be released. And begin to let the whole weight of the body get heavier. Come back to the healing intention that you set. Let go of expression on the face, gripping around the jaw and within the mouth. Softening the weight of the arms. Softening the low back and the legs. Could you begin to absolutely love your relationship to gravity? When we say yes to gravity, gravity helps us to relax, to meet Mother Earth, and to let go. This healing time is so needed. So can you commit to just a few minutes longer of setting your day aside and caring for you? The more we can embody rest, the more we can change the little grooves and imprints within our brain and subconscious. The more you can get a felt sense of relaxation, the easier it will be to keep coming back to it. So let go. Sink down. We'll begin to rotate our mind through our body. So bring your awareness to the inside of the mouth. Sense the inner walls of the cheeks, the roof of the mouth, the tip of the tongue, the teeth and the gums, space between the lips, the tip of the nose, the gentle flow of air moving through the nostrils, on both eyebrows, both eyes, and the muscles behind the eyes softening. The left ear, the right ear, and both ears listening to the sounds around you. Could you sense the whole shape and weight of your head relaxing? The fluid around the brain, mobile, flexible. Sense the heart. Could you sense the heartbeat? Both shoulders, elbows, wrist, both hands, all 10 fingers, and the space between the fingers. Could you feel the fingertips? Both hands and both arms heavy. Could you sense the lungs? The rise and fall of the belly, the pubic bone, both hips, knees, ankles, heels, both feet, all 10 toes, and the atmosphere that surrounds the toes. Feel both feet and both legs heavy. The entire weight of the spine from the tailbone to the brain, relaxing toward the earth. Nothing to hold or grip. Whole body soft. The head sinking down another inch. Quietude. Could you sense the internal force of energy that naturally drives and flows through your body by the breath? And how the magic of that happens without your effort. The breath moves. The lungs expand and contract. The heart beats. The blood pumps through our body and veins. And the energetic systems within move and spin. These magnificent bodies that don't always need our efforts. Could you witness the magic of your body at work here while you hold an energetic space of gratitude and presence? Trillions and trillions of little cells harmonizing. Your internal landscape and universe is here for you. Its whole job is to help you function and to keep you ticking and to keep you alive. It wants you to meet it with a sense of kindness and love and gentleness. Our body's path to healing is often way, way slower than the brain or the way the brain wants it to work. So can you be patient? Can there's support all around you. So rest. Rest just a little longer. Anything that I really want you to take in from today's class, it's that our body wants us to meet its healing and all of its work with gentleness and with patience. And remember that the healing is already happening.